United Grind Society presents the Turntable. We discuss everything relevant to hip hop. I'm your host, Haiku, and with me today, we got some of my favorite quarantine peoples. We have Jinx Most High from United Grind. We have Seed from E.com. We have Garbs Infinite. We have Speed from Rom Royal. All right. Well, on this episode here, we are going to talk about our faces, right? Our least favorite and our
It's
most
beautiful,
favorite
ain't it?
soundtrack. It is. It is.
God,
You can
pro.
see it. I got a haircut. You can see that shit now.
Well, we're going to be talking about our soundtracks, our favorite soundtracks, right? The best and the worst, our least favorite hip hop soundtracks. And but before we get into that, this episode is brought to you by the latest release from our boy Vice Souletric off the United Grind. The project is called Trap: The Reality of All People, now available on all digital platforms. Make sure you check it out. All right, please make sure you check that out. The project
Vice
is
likes
hot.
those acronyms, don't he?
He be on it though.
He love them acronyms.
Well, hey, y'all. I know on our third episode, we discussed hip hop movies, right? So if anyone wants to check that out, go back and check that out. Please do. Today, we're going to be discussing hip hop soundtracks. We're going to cover the best and the worst of. So I want to hear everyone's favorite soundtrack from a hip hop album and your reason why. So, Garbs, we're going to start with you. We're going to start with you, man.
Now, I would say that I have a list.
No,
I
start
know,
with
that's
one, bro. And you're going to start naming everybody else's shit.
Me first. So
who you got?
Let's start with a little bit of a sleeper.
No. Start with your favorite.
Can I
Your
go?
favorite.
Yeah, go ahead.
Your one, yes.
My one favorite.
Your one favorite.
One favorite.
All right. I won't start with the sleeper then. So I'm gonna say Sunset Park.
Boom ba doo 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 doo.
And if you look at everybody that was on there, had Pac, had Onyx, and Ghostface, and Raekwon. Who else was on there? Junior Mafia. That was a really dope soundtrack, and it was a dope movie. First off, I think, but I think that the soundtrack just complemented the movie, the sound and the feel, and I think that that's when it pertains to soundtracks. Because a lot of times, which I'm sure we'll get into later, a lot of times songs seem to be just collected and compiled onto records. But
right.
I think that soundtrack was cohesive with the feel and look of the actual movie.
Was Motherless Child on there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Motherless Child, High Till I Die by Tupac. Shit, Keep On by MC Lyte. Or Escaping MC Lyte. Damn.
Yeah, Mobb Deep on there too.
Mobb Deep.
Yeah, I had Sunset on my sleeper list, Garbs.
What'd you say?
I had Sunset on my sleeper list.
Yeah.
That was definitely a sleeper.
Sunset, I didn't listen to it a lot, but the people I was around at that time swore by it. So I know a lot of people did like it.
Okay. All right.
I'm trying to
Speed,
think.
Why don't you? What are you going to say, James?
I was trying to remember what that Mobb Deep joint, Back at You.
Back at you.
You bucking me, I'm bucking right back at you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Project niggas strike back, it's on. What the fuck is shake? I'll be right back with the gap and temper.
Yes.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. It's Sunset Park.
All right.
Official.
All right. Well, I'm next.
All right. Okay. Go ahead.
She's like, I ain't
Please.
going last today.
I ain't going last today. So
Hit me.
yeah, I just got to keep with the theme. You know what I'm saying? Garbs did Sunset Park, so I got to keep with the hoop theme.
You
You know
about to
where
do
we
mine?
going with
Oh,
it. You know where
you
we
about to do
going with it.
mine? You about to do
I'm about to
mine?
do
You
mine.
know where we going with it.
Yep.
Above the rim.
Man,
Above the rim.
That's why you wanted to go next.
Exactly.
That's why you wanted to
I
go
have
next.
no shame. No shame.
Give
Because I knew
give
somebody was going to pick that shit.
give your reasoning though.
Oh, because it's classics. I think find me a soundtrack that has more individual classics on it than Above the Rim. My favorite
that
Pac song,
soundtrack had a lot of singles on it, like straight, like not just
straight bang outs, singers. You know, R&B. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the hits were R&B singles, but still, I mean, shit. What can you say? My favorite Pac song, Pain, which is not streamable on the soundtrack anymore for
It
some
didn't. It
reason.
wasn't on any album either.
Right.
And it is my favorite Tupac song as well.
Yeah, that's up
By
there.
far.
Is that the pain? That song?
Hold up. No. This is what we talking about right here. And that's why I got this shit right here. This is why I got this shit hooked up. You know what I'm saying? But no, this is definitely like between Shed So Many Tears and this one. This is my two of my favorite Pac.
Labeled as a troublemaker. Who can you blame? Smoking weed up, we take away the bank. So I'm hopeless. Rolling down the freeway, swerving.
Don't worry. Hennessy got my vision blurry.
Oh, 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 oh.
Man,
That shit.
we list. What year did that come out? What year?
The soundtrack itself.
94?
Gotta
95?
be 94.
94.
Yeah,
Every time I hear that song, I think of what's her face getting shot on the basketball court.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
We listened to that Tupac song back to back,
Yeah, 94.
probably for 8
Double check
hours
that
straight
shit.
on the way to Atlanta for Freaknik.
Just straight. Okay, Freaknik brethren.
Oh, I'm a Freaknik
Oh.
veteran.
You wasn't there alone. I can tell
I
you
know.
that much.
I wasn't gonna
can
call
tell
you out, but yeah, I got you.
I can tell you that much. And that
But,
time was so. That time was college days in the dorms, block parties. That whole you could go through and probably play good 4 or 5 songs from that soundtrack and be
right, you
good
got
at
Regulate.
any party. Any
You
party.
got Regulate. Part-time
Afro
lover from
Puffs.
H-Town, Afro Puffs.
We used to roll through the flat in that old time's sake.
Pour out a little liquor.
Table.
Another one of my Pac faves. That was a serious ass soundtrack. I think at that point, motherfuckers knew the soundtrack game. They had to come with it. So, Above
That
the Rim
was
for
probably
me.
the height of soundtracks.
That was
time
it.
period.
That was a peak.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That was it.
Yeah, the rest of you can put out whatever you were gonna say.
Same. Thank you.
Well, cool. I'll go because luckily you didn't pick mine. I thought you were gonna pick mine, but you didn't. And had I thought a little more, I should have known it was gonna be Above the Rim. But since you said basketball, that is mine as well, but it's not Above the Rim.
Oh, okay.
My favorite soundtrack is Soul in the Hole.
What?
That was on my sleeper list. I love Soul in the Hole too.
And I know it's a sleeper, but
On my list.
for that time period, it had all my favorite people on there. It had Dead Prez. It had Big Pun. It had Mobb Deep. It had M.O.P. It had the Cellar Dwellers. It had Common, O.C., Brand Nubians, and Smith & Wesson. I love that soundtrack.
One-on-one, Your Life, OC. Damn.
Yeah.
First of all, I never seen the movie, and I never heard the soundtrack.
There you go.
Wow.
Well,
I never saw the movie.
The rest of your day is going to go after this.
I never saw the movie, but I played the hell out the soundtrack.
You know what? With that,
Ride, MOP.
that Big Pun record. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't a
Like,
killer. I know the record. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you know
You
the
ain't a
record.
killer.
So I remember the first time I heard that record because it was during, I was in high school, so I was taping stuff off of, the Players Ball, you know what I'm saying, and Ghetto Poetry.
And it was out before the album.
It was out before
It
the album.
is.
So, and I remember hearing that for the first time and listening to it, and this was the second time that I heard Pun, as opposed to, along with his verse on Fat Joe's Jealous One's Envy album. Then I heard that record. I'm just like, oh my God, dude, this is fun.
Here he come. Here he come.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah.
Well, Jinx, that's your bad fan review next,
Yeah, you already got yours, buddy.
What, the soundtrack?
bruh.
Man, we not doing soundtracks, bro. We not doing soundtracks, man.
It's still cohesive and it still matters and it's still a hit.
Because I heard, because a lot of these songs are just album cuts that got transferred.
Nah, but
Don't
it came
get
to the
mad because you
soundtrack.
don't get mad because you didn't hear it.
So the album.
We'll talk about that.
Even though I had album cuts on it, that came out first before the albums did.
Discuss this later on live. Huh?
I mean, I won't be mad at this shit. You know what I'm saying? It ain't Grayskull, so
I can't tell you sound mad.
See, that ain't right. That ain't right. I shared a little bit of part of me.
Oh no, man, my bad. You know I had to give it to you. You know I had to give you shit.
So let me go here, if y'all don't mind. Mine is. It was above the rim, but since that's already been picked,
Exactly.
I got to pick my runner-up. My runner-up would be Juice. My runner-up would be Juice.
Yeah.
Shoot 'Em Up by Cypress. Uptown Anthem. That's always,
Oh, man, that was my shit.
always gets me going.
I love that
song
video too, man. I
ridiculous.
love that video.
Hey,
It's ridiculous.
That was the peak of Naughty.
And
That
then
was
you
the
had
penalty.
it was a penalty. And then you had even the R&B hit. You had Aaron Halls.
How are you not naming the lead single?
Yeah.
Hold up, what was the lead single?
What are you talking about?
Rakim.
No, the Ledge.
The Ledge.
Yeah. I thought I already said that. I thought I said that
no.
first. My bad.
Maybe you did.
Yeah.
If you did, I missed it.
No, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, obviously, those are the tracks. Say it again.
There's Enough Respect Due on there too.
Yeah. You know how many rhymes I wrote to Enough Respect Due's instrumental?
Yeah.
In fact, Haiku, the first time you met me, I probably spit a verse from what I wrote to Enough Respect Due. There's a good chance. Mm-hmm.
That was like at that moment when I heard Know the Ledge.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm younger, so when I heard that though, I was just like, wow, this dude's writing. That was the record that I was just like.
You said Rakim was ready?
No, I said that was the record that when I heard it.
Okay, I got you.
I was like, because I think what year did that come out?
91,
91,
92.
Yeah.
91, I was 10 and 11 years old. So when I heard that and I heard Rakim spit, and I was just like completely amazed by just his ability at that moment. You know what I'm saying?
The one thing about those records is those songs still stand up to this day. Because I remember I was riding around and said, hey, my son's 11. I said, check this out. And he don't know if it's old or new or whatever. Still rocking it. I heard him like the next day playing it in his room. Like, yo, play Juice, blah, 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 blah. I was like,
I think I'm going to have to wait for that, man. Because, like,
did you rip a little tear? Like,
I thought I had Juice listed, man.
All right, Speedy.
Hold on, I got to let that run a little bit. Right.
Gun is warm a lot. Come on, bro. My gun is warm a lot.
Let these shoulders do this thing real quick.
Shit.
All
All
right,
right.
Speedy, who you
No,
got?
Juice. I thought I had Juice listed, but shit.
So
Okay.
I wanna say something real quick before I say mine, because in
Mm.
researching for this episode, it kind of occurred to me that a lot of soundtracks don't hold up as well over time. I don't know if it's just because of what somebody had mentioned, like something that Garb said a little bit earlier, that I think some of the songs are tailor made for movies, and they don't like stuff that I thought was really dope when it first came out. I listened to again, was like, it's okay, but
It's
just
also
like
time period.
yeah, pretty much like everybody else though. I had a 1A and a 1B actually, and I went back and forth on both of these. So I had Above the Rim, of course, and then my 1B was Minister Society.
Yeah.
And I thought you would have
Uh,
picked Minister Society. That's the one I would have pegged you for.
yeah, I actually had picked Above the Rim, and the reason I picked Above the Rim kind of goes to my preface, because some of the stuff on there on Minister Society, like Minister Society, just like the Above the Rim soundtrack, is full of singles. It's got you know nigga got no heart, straight up menace, top of the world, gorillas is gangsters, lick the motherfuckers is on there. It's full of singles on there. The P is free, KRS One. But I think some of the themes of the song don't hold up as well as a Butter Rim. So the songs is still dope.
So you're not gonna say it's Pocket Full of Stones? You just gonna roll
Pocket full
past
of
that one?
songs.
Okay.
Dude, I listen to that. I listen to that. I have that soundtrack on my phone. I listen to that soundtrack now. But it's yeah, it's my 1A. Like if somebody had said that on here, I would have been like, yep, I'm all out.
But
But
see,
so
that's
yeah,
the thing though. Like, respectively, there's not a whole bunch of classics on the Minister. There's a lot of singles, a lot of breakout singles, but like Above the Rim got classics on it.
The
I
Menace,
think that's the
the
difference.
Menace soundtrack was probably, I think I probably heard the most people talking about it when it was out compared to any other soundtrack. Like everybody was talking about the Menace soundtrack, and it was dope. I didn't like it as much as everybody else because it was heavy West Coast influence,
Hmm.
but I do like just remembering back to that time period. I think I remember the most people talking about Menace.
Yeah, I mean, with straight up Menace
Yeah,
like being the anchor for that soundtrack, I think it kind of holds its place due
yeah.
to that song. But without that song, and personally without Pocket Full of Stone, you know what I'm saying, I could do without it. The soundtrack without those two records, I could do without
ooh, you crazy.
P,
Ooh, boy, you crazy.
it.
P. Real quick question, since I know you're a Cleveland aficionado. Did Brother for the Struggle have a song called Pocket Full of Stones?
No.
All right.
They uh
Yeah, Ready Rock.
Mother for the Struggle
Ready
had
Rocks.
Ready
That's
Rock,
it. Good job, Garbs. Good job. Ready
Ready
Rocks.
Rock,
Yeah,
and Chop Chops
got you.
Yeah,
was the remix.
It
Yeah,
was eating
man.
me up. I just needed to know. Thank you.
both banging records.
So, if I were going to say, I mean, obviously, we didn't talk about all of the ones that we enjoyed. Um, and I know some of us, we talked about having like sleepers and whatnot, but I do want to talk about like the worst ones that you heard, like the absolute worst hip hop soundtrack, uh, in your opinion. All right.
I'll go.
Jinx, we're going to start with you. Yep. T. Go ahead, Jinx.
Okay.
What you got?
Now, when I say worse, I just got a caveat. You know what I'm saying? When I say worse,
Least
I'll put it
favorite.
to you like this:
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank
the
you.
sound. It's not about it being a bad soundtrack or not having, you know what I'm saying, good records on it. But for the movie to be as big as it was, the
Mm,
soundtrack just doesn't hold up to it, in my
mm,
opinion.
mm-hmm,
Outside of the breakout single,
mm-hmm.
I gotta put 8 Mile on the chopping block.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't see
I
that.
gotta
Man.
put 8 Mile on the chopping block,
I
man.
didn't
It
like
is
that
not
soundtrack.
a strong soundtrack at all.
Hmm.
Mm.
Ooh.
Outside of Lose
Hmm.
Yourself,
Know about that?
what else you got outside of Lose Yourself? Tell me.
8 Mile. 8 Mile. Well, that's what I got on there. 8 Mile's a great song.
Every song
I don't even
Eminem was
remember that
on.
song. I don't even remember that song. 8 Mile. The fuck is that?
Wait a minute. Okay, we'll revisit that. I got
Hold
something
up.
to
No,
say.
no. Give me more. Give me more. Because if it's I need to. What else? What else
No,
we got?
here's the thing.
Wanksta is on there.
What else?
Wanksta.
Wanksta.
50 Cent.
Wankster. Okay.
So here's the thing.
Y'all be
Really?
bumping
I
Wankster.
remember that in the movie.
Okay. I do remember this.
Yeah.
And Run Rabbit Run.
Okay. I don't give a fuck about that.
Run Rabbit Run
Keep
was
going.
dope. So
We're
here's
not
the thing.
talking about any classics.
Do you let me talk, man?
Go ahead.
All right. Back in the day, you got a difference between soundtracks and scores for the movie. The score, which could also be used as a soundtrack for 8 Mile, is the greatest piece of hip hop work ever associated with a movie.
Oh, let me Google that. Hold up.
Please do.
8 Mile.
Shook Ones, Juicy, Gotta Get Mine, Feel Me Flow, Players Ball, Get Money, Bring the Pain, Cream. That's a classic.
Yeah, it's not the soundtrack. So
That's
keep
not
going.
the soundtrack.
You could go to the store and buy it as a soundtrack.
Yeah, you actually
It
could.
would be in the soundtrack section, and you
Yeah.
would purchase it.
Yeah. The South Central Cartel on there too.
Nigga,
Yep.
it says music inspired by man. You know what the fuck I'm talking about? The soundtrack ain't that. And yes, the score was dope. And when I went to look it up, I was like, well, shit. Wasn't
OT
Shook Ones
time's
on
up.
there? Wasn't you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like, okay, that was a score. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
Got you.
not it.
I guess
All right,
with
Garbs,
that,
who do you have?
refer to it as this one and this two. That's what we would look at it.
Okay.
I feel it. I understand what you're saying, but I don't necessarily agree.
I mean, please, I need more
No,
records.
I'm saying like I feel what you're saying on the this one, this two, but I always considered all the classics that they compiled for the movie that are super important parts of the movie, that are played within it, that actually go along with the feel, the time period, everything.
Yeah.
I still think that still should be considered part of the soundtrack.
Even though they're two completely different discs sold separately, labeled not soundtrack on the disc. You're
I think
gonna
my
count it
thing
all.
about that is I think what all right, so because there's a couple movies like that too. I think like The Wood is like that. A couple other ones, but there's songs that come up during the movie and they're not on the soundtrack. There's songs in Above the Rim that aren't on the soundtrack. That add to that. Actually, that one of those Dog Pound songs was like I looked for a long time to find that Mobbing with the Pound, I think it's called, and that's not on the soundtrack. So like I get where y'all going with it, and it adds to the movie, and it add like I think if the song pushes the movie, that actually adds to the soundtrack too. But I don't know if I'm calling them songs the soundtrack to that
You
movie.
know what the soundtrack is. Soundtrack was a money
They're
grab for
not
the
the
label.
soundtrack. They are the score. But my point was, if you went to the store and went in the soundtrack section, that's where you would purchase that at.
Yes, and that's
So-
kind of go along with that.
So I guess to isolate the conversation, right? So get it, so we're all on the same page because I understand both points, both sides of things. I think we're talking about like what are almost like original tracks, right? That were made for the movie specifically. But regardless, I'm not gonna argue it.
We can't even do that, Haku, because you cutting out 3/4 of every soundtrack. Because most soundtracks are songs that end up on other people, their own album. It was just a song that was going to be on their album, and they said, "Here, use this for your movie." There's very few songs that were made.
Or vice versa. The song was on soundtrack and then it ended up coming out on that. Like the song got so big that it ended
Players
up
Ball.
coming out. Yeah,
Players Ball.
yeah.
Very few songs were made specifically for the movie.
I
Oh,
say
yeah.
keep it
So
simple. When
I
you
have,
Google soundtrack, the songs on that bitch.
well, I think we've reached a moment in time that certain things are not going to be 100% agreed on with that. So let's keep it
You think we're
moving.
there? Are we there?
You know what I'm saying? So the worst is a challenge for me, but I'm gonna say this: like the songs that I really liked off of the album, I really liked, and I don't know how y'all gonna feel about this. You know, I actually have two. But I just picked one. I don't know if y'all would consider it, but I'm gonna say the Nutty Professor soundtrack.
Hold
The
up.
worst, you said?
Hold
I
up.
didn't,
Is that
Hold
the
up.
worst?
I didn't even look at
Before you
that one.
say another word, hold up,
But
because
the
I
song,
was not thinking about this shit at all.
but
Hold
the
up.
song, like the songs that I like were great. So I don't know if I could consider it. I'm gonna
I
have to
couldn't
look.
even tell you what's on there.
I'm about to.
But the
I tell you
songs
what,
that
he,
I
he put
Oh
he put so many
shit!
asterisks on it.
Okay.
forgot about
Touch
this.
me, tease me,
Yeah, that was
case.
so. That's one that, of course, you know I love. And
Okay.
then I like
Didn't
the
it?
other track that I liked on there would be Trigger the
Ain't no
Gambler
nigga. I forgot
and
about
Nigga.
that.
Trigger the Gambler and Smooth the Hustler had and DV Alias Christ they had A Crew Can't Go for that, which is one of my favorite
Yeah.
records.
Okay, trigger the.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
hold up,
was
hold, hold,
good
hold
on
up,
that
hold up. I
album.
forgot about that.
The
Hold
whole
up.
soundtrack, it felt like kind of what we were saying before, that it was just, oh, I'm gonna donate this song to the soundtrack, but it didn't really have the
Yeah,
cohesive.
because none of those songs really got nothing to do with Nutty Professor.
Exactly. And
I sit back in my bed, watch Bill and Ted, make sure my days is excellent before my eyes get red. The professor, teaching rappers.
Okay,
yeah,
He
it
said
has
it.
some.
He made it
It
for
has
that.
some hitters.
yeah,
It has some hitters on
some
it.
hitters, but it just wasn't cohesive.
I feel you.
Whereas like
Smooth, one of the world's greatest ghostwriters the world has never known.
you said,
What
what?
happened?
I said Smooth, the hustler, one of the world's greatest ghostwriters the world doesn't know about.
Oh,
I didn't know that
okay.
he was.
Hey, hold up. That's an episode, baby.
My bad.
Ghost Riders.
No, I'm just saying.
And
That's an
actually,
episode.
like,
Got you.
you're teaching me
Write
something. I
that
didn't even
down.
know this part. Not, I thought his first album was like incredible. I thought it was really dope.
It needed to be longer. That was the only thing wrong with it. It
Who
wasn't
the
a short.
Hustler?
Yeah,
Somebody write that down, bro. That's an episode.
Ghostwriters.
I got that.
Ghostwriters.
Yeah, that's
Okay, so AZ. Hold up.
As
No,
yet.
that ain't AZ. As yet.
As
Okay.
yet.
I was about to say, what? Breaker. Okay. Breaker 1, Breaker 2, Death Squad. Ain't no nigga. I like Slick Rick.
I love Breaker
Montreal
Breaker too.
Jordan.
It just had nothing to do with being the Nutty Professor. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I love a lot of records on that album, and I listened to it a lot, but it just didn't.
Can
Sure.
somebody find me a soundtrack that is actually based on
Boomerang.
the subject of the movie? Because I don't even think I
Boomerang.
would like that shit.
Murder was the case.
Murder was.
Mm.
Streets is watching.
Streets
Yeah.
is watching. But see, but on those albums, I felt like the songs were. It felt like the songs were created first, and they built a story around the songs.
Yeah,
That's how it
right.
felt.
It's
So,
possible.
and allow me to clarify. It's not about that every single song should be about the subject matter and the title of the movie. I don't think that that's realistic, but I do think it's necessary to have a cohesive sound that it fits into the scenes, other than it just being, oh, we got music. Oh, they, you know what I'm saying?
It's funny because like the
Mhm.
Boys in the Hood soundtrack, to go back to the point I made earlier, the Boys in the Hood soundtrack, I remember when that came out, like we went and got that soundtrack because the sound of the movie was sounding, it was dope, but the soundtrack is trash. Not trash, that ain't fair, but it's
So was that your pick?
what? Not well.
Boys in the Hood
Yeah,
for the worst.
that could be my pick. Not, it's not the
I was
worst
gonna
soundtrack.
say you could get away with it.
That's Stanley Clark. So I ain't about to disrespect my man like that. but
What, the
it,
Damn,
soundtrack?
I'm
What you just
looking at the
did.
soundtrack like shit. Yeah, this shit wasn't really outside of Ice Cube, How to Survive in South Central.
yep, yep.
Yo yo, yo
Did he
yo,
have Bird
Mama
in the
don't take
Hand in
no
there?
mess.
Was Bird in the Hand on there? You know what? It was
Nope,
in the score. It wasn't on the
nope.
soundtrack. Seriously, they used it in the movie.
You want to score episodes each? Is that what you
That was
hinting at, nigga?
good. That was
No,
classic right
that,
there.
that
No,
was,
but is it a score?
Boy, right.
Dang.
Oh, it had
Seeds
me
for the
and you
win.
on it. Hold up.
it had what?
Okay. Tony, just me.
Oh yeah, that was on
Okay.
there.
That was a
Yeah.
jam right
Change,
there.
Boy,
change,
for this to be the turntable, Jinx been doing a whole lot of singing this episode.
hey, man.
Hey, bro.
You got
A
an
Hey,
whole lot of
bro.
R&B coming
shoulder
out.
shimmy shaking over here
Turntable, the
going on.
R&B edition coming
Right.
soon, baby.
Jay's got a whole secondary light we gonna find out about
He
here.
sure does.
Hey, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
What was
I
on
I
what
love
was
a
on the
jam now.
what was on the Higher Learning soundtrack?
Let's see.
Ice Cube.
I know that other Tony song was on there, but
Did Busta Rhymes have anything on there?
He
That shit
had to,
wouldn't even
didn't
make no
he?
sense.
He had to.
Hey, let's see. Higher learning, we got. Damn, ain't nobody's fucking name labeled on this shit. It's just the titles of the songs. Okay,
Yeah, that's
well,
right.
I think, no.
losing my religion. Ask of you. Year of the boomerang. Higher learning. Don't have time. I don't know who's.
That might be my pick.
Maybe it.
that sound like one of them joints I was just talking about. Like, man, it
Hold up.
blows out with the movie.
Oh, wait a minute. What do Outkast have on here? Okay,
Where's
Phobia.
oh, that was
Michelle
cool.
Nadeo Cello on here.
Yep, you had Johnny on there by your side. Brand New Heavies. You had
Rage Against the Machine.
Okay.
Organized Noise.
Okay.
Organized noise. So.
I'm gonna go ahead with my pick then.
No Busta
What's that?
Rhymes on
My
this
pick.
soundtrack.
This was a movie
He was on
about
the
hip
score.
hop. Shut up. This is a movie about hip hop. It was like a hip hop documentary. And when you look at the track listing of everybody that's on this thing, this is supposed to be an incredible album. And
About
no,
to
I'm not
say
talking
mine.
about Rhyme and Reason.
Close.
That soundtrack was horrible. Horrible. I'm looking at the names: Dog Pound, Busta Rhymes, KRS-One, Razcast, 8 Ball MJG. The RZA had the only song on there I liked. That was Tragedy.
You didn't like
Lost Boys.
Heaven for a Gangster?
You said what?
I wasn't even a big Master P fan, but I liked Heaven for a Gangster.
You know, I didn't even realize he was on there. Yeah, I did not like that song. But yeah.
Dog Pound and Mac 10, you didn't like that record? That was the
I hate Mac 10. Not as a person, because I don't know him. But I'm sure we wouldn't get along.
Mac 10's first album.
You hate on Mac. Phone lie.
Exactly. This soundtrack was terrible. For the movie to be called Rhyme and Reason, and it was hard for me to find a reason to listen to it.
Wait a minute, what was this shit?
Kind of hurts me.
Is this the joint that I think it is?
Was it?
Hold up. Okay.
I don't agree.
So it had the Tribe, Busta Rhymes. I'm trying to think of just the song
Wild
that I
Hot.
think it
That
is.
was a cool song. That was cool.
You didn't like
Okay.
Yeah, that was cool.
This ain't the song that I thought it was though, but
Right.
I don't think that it was the worst, but I can understand what you're saying. I just don't 100% agree.
I got you. I mean, Tragedy saved it for me because I love that song, but
that was definitely a dope RZA track.
yeah.
What's this Cannabis Razcast Helter Skelter?
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool too. But it wasn't what you thought it would be. You thought it would be mind blowing, but it was just cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Crucial Conflict. Bogus Man.
It was bogus, all right.
Too, man. What are you talking about? All right.
All right, we ready for sleepers? We ready for sleepers now, huh?
We ready for sleepers? If we talking
You
like
gotta be
in
quick.
2 minutes,
I
yeah.
gotta
Oh
start.
damn!
So
I gotta
Just
start.
give me something to listen to, man. Name something
yep,
that should
quickly,
be.
I'm
quickly.
gonna
All right,
start. I'm
my
gonna start.
sleeper is going to be uh fuck. Somebody else go.
Okay,
Ready.
hurry up, Garbs. You got
Ready.
it.
First and foremost, we're gonna talk about the Street Fighter soundtrack. Had
Okay.
Nas, Ice Cube,
Nas. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? The Bums, Raz Cass, Fear, and the Mod. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like that, like just like when I bought it just because I liked the movie back in the day when I was younger, and then I heard the soundtrack. I'm like, whoa, this is
That's a good one.
you know. I
All right,
think
who else? Who? Okay, I got it. I got it. The score. The score. It was a double disc, and it had "Summertime in the LBC" on that bitch.
Okay.
How
the
high on
score.
that bitch?
You talking about the show?
The show.
The show. What did I say? The score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
This
I was like,
nigga. This nigga put that shit in my
heard
head.
that.
Yes, that's what I mean. The show. The show. The show. Fuck, my
Sure.
bad. Yeah, the show.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah, that was
next? Who's
mine.
next?
That was my pick too.
Who's next?
Yeah, the score is
Hmm.
dope.
The show was basically a Def Jam album.
See,
All right, who's next?
I'm gonna name one, and then I'm gonna actually go back later and listen to it because I remember seeing this movie and thinking that soundtrack was stupid. But I don't know if it's listenable just as a soundtrack because I
Hey,
never
what
did.
is it?
What is it?
It's Domino, the movie Domino, the soundtrack to Domino.
Never heard of
Okay.
Not
that
yet.
movie.
I have to check it out.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
All right.
Any-
And Siege, what you got?
Mine was the show.
The show. Okay. Okay.
What about you?
I think the sleeper that I had, I just remember it being doper. I was looking at the track list. I'm gonna have to listen to it again to see, because I thought it was doper than what it appears on paper. But Don't Be a Menace. I thought it was doper than what it actually looks like on paper. I'm
it's
gonna have to
not.
go back and listen to it.
It's not. But the songs you like, you're gonna still like. The songs you like, you
Okay.
still like though.
Okay.
Hey, I got two to
Yeah.
mention real quick.
Black Panther soundtrack.
Real quick.
Wakanda Forever.
Tales from the Hood and High School High.
Yep. High School High. I agree with that.
Okay.
Tales from the Hood was dope too, man.
Tell from the Hood, I like that. High School High to check out.
High School High is really
Cool,
dope.
cool.
All right.
Hey, yo, y'all know what to do. Please let us know which soundtracks we missed, which ones that y'all love, recommendations and whatnot. And y'all know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment, all of that. All of
And
that.
share.
We'll see y'all
Share
next
that
time.
shit.
Touch me.
Please share.
Mike,
Speed, stop. Stop, Speed.
Bobby,
Stop
don't do
speeding.
that. Bobby, don't do that.
Peace, y'all. Till next time.
Right.
TurnTable.